The cold steel of the scalpel bit into my throat before I even realized the anesthesiologist had lied. Just a routine procedure. Mrs. Hargrove, he'd said with that fake-ass smile, his eyes darting to the door where my son, Ethan, hovered like a goddamn vulture. One breath, and the world tilted, choking, gurgling, my blood flooding my lungs like the betrayal it was. I died on that operating table in Mercy General, Chicago, 2025, poisoned by the very family I'd built from scratch, all for inheritance I'd slaved over in boardrooms and backstabbing deals. But death, it's a bitch with a sense of humor. I woke up gasping, not in hell's waiting room, but in my own king-sized bed in the Lakeview penthouse. Sheets tangled around me like a noose I hadn't earned yet. The alarm clock blinked 7:14 a.m. October 15th, 2023, 2 years before that routine surgery. My hands flew to my neck, smooth, unscarred. Heart pounding like a jackhammer. I stumbled to the mirror. Same silver-streaked bob, same sharp green eyes staring back, but alive. Trapped in the past, armed with the future's ugly truths. Ethan and his gold-digging wife, Lila, had played me like a fiddle, faked concern, spiked my meds, all to cash in on my tech empire before the cancer lie unraveled. I'd rewritten my will that morning, leaving them scraps. And boom, the wine-throwing tantrum that tipped me off too late. Fuck, I whispered, voice raw, as if the scalpel ghosts lingered. This was my shot. No more doting mom. No more blind trust. Annabelle Hargrove was back, and hell was coming for her own. I threw on my power suit, tailored black wool from that little atelier in the Loop, and hit the kitchen like a storm. Coffee brewing. I scrolled my phone, heart still racing. Texts from Ethan, Mom. Dinner tonight? Lila's making her famous Oso Buco. Famous my ass, it was the night he dropped the bomb about needing help with their startup, code for bleeding me dry. Last time, I'd caved. Wired $1 million before dessert. This time, I'd choke on the truth serum. By 6 p.m., the penthouse dining room gleamed, catered spread from Alinea knockoffs. Crystal glasses catching the city lights twinkling beyond the windows. Ethan arrived first. All broad shoulders and that boyish grin that used to melt me. 35 now. VP at my company. Hargrove Innovations, sustainable energy tech that'd made me a billionaire widow after Paul's crash in '05. Mom, you look great, he said, pecking my cheek. Lies already. Lila sauntered in 10 minutes later, all yoga-tone limbs and designer sheath dress, her blonde waves bouncing like she owned the place. Annabelle, darling, this place is still a fortress. Ever think of downsizing? Her laugh tinkled, but her eyes, shark cold, scanned the art on the walls, pricing my Picassos in her head. We sat, plates clinking, small talk about the Bears' shitty season and her latest influencer gig shilling essential oils. Then, wine poured, Cabernet from Napa. The good stuff. Ethan cleared his throat. Mom, we've got big news. He squeezed Lila's hand, that diamond solitaire I'd bought flashing like a warning. Lila's pregnant. And we're launching the app. EcoTrack. Needs seed money. $5 million to start. Pregnant. The lie that had hooked me last time. There was no baby, just a phantom on an ultrasound app. Enough to guilt me into signing over stock. My fork paused midair. Salmon flaking onto porcelain. Congrats, I said, voice steady as Lake Michigan in winter. But 5 million? That's a chunk. Ethan's face tightened, that vein in his forehead popping like it did in board meetings when I shot down his half-baked ideas.
Mom, come on.
It's our future. Yours too, you built this company for family. Lila chimed in, all saccharine sympathy. We've crunched the numbers. Annabelle. It's solid. Think of the grandkids. No grandkids. Just a fabricated sonogram and a Cayman account siphoning my empire dry. I set down my fork, the clink echoing like a gavel. I love you, Ethan. But I'm not bankrolling another vanity project. Hargrove's for real innovation, not apps that track your kale smoothies. His jaw dropped, then snapped shut. You're being selfish. The words exploded, red-faced, spittle flecking the air. After everything we've done for you, holding your hand through Dad's death, sticking around when you buried yourself in work, this is blood. Mom, thicker than your goddamn boardroom ink. Lila's eyes narrowed, her glass tilting dangerously. Selfish? You've got billions. Annabelle. Hoarding it like some dragon while we scrape by on your crumbs. The wine flew then, deep crimson arcs splattering my blouse. The tablecloth, dripping like accusations. It hit hot. Shocking. But I didn't flinch. Last time, I gasped, apologized, wired the money by midnight to keep the peace. This time, I pulled my phone from my pocket, thumb hovering over contacts. What the hell are you doing? Ethan snarled, half rising. Calling my lawyer, I said, calm as a loaded gun. The line rang once. Victor Ruiz. Shark in pinstripes. On speed dial since Paul's will.
Vic? Yeah.
It's Annabelle. Emergency addendum to the trust. Effective immediately. Lila laughed. Sharp and brittle.
Oh, please.
You can't be serious. Dead serious, I replied, meeting Ethan's eyes, my boy's eyes, twisted now with the greed I'd ignored for decades. Vic's voice crackled. What's the play?
Boss.
Cut Ethan out. Full disinheritance. Lila too, any marital assets tied to him. And audit the company books. Retroactive. I want every dime they touched flagged. The line went silent on his end. Then, on it. Meet at the office. 8 a.m. Make it 7. I hung up, the room thick as fog off the lake. Ethan lunged for the phone. But I was faster, screen locked. App open to record. You heard me, son. Game over. He staggered back, face ashen.
Mom.
You can't. We're family. Family? I echoed, standing, wine staining my cuffs like war paint. Family doesn't forge my signature on offshore transfers. Doesn't spike my coffee with fentanyl precursors to help with the pain before faking a cancer diagnosis. The words hung, bombs dropping. Their faces priceless. Ethan's mouth worked like a fish. Lila's glass shattering on the floor as she bolted upright. How? She stammered. Doesn't matter. It did. 2 years of dying clarity. Whispers from nurses bought off. Bank alerts pinging in my haze. But spilling it all now?
Nah.
Let M stew. Get out.
Both of you.
Security's on the way. Ethan grabbed Lila's arm, dragging her toward the door. But he twisted back, eyes wild. This isn't over.
Mom.
You'll regret this. The elevator dinged my doorman.
Ex-marine.
Filling the frame. Mrs. Hargrove. Escort them out. permanently. As the doors swallowed them, I sank into my chair, pulse thundering.
Trùng sinh, debit.
They call it in those old stories. Felt more like resurrection. Lazarus with a grudge. But the high faded fast.
What now?
Expose them? They'd lawyered up quicker than I could blink last time, spinning tales of my declining mental state.
No.
This was chess, not checkers. First move, fortify the board. I poured myself a fresh glass, untouched bottle, and toasted the skyline. Chicago sprawled below. All steel and secrets.
Just like my blood.
Ethan thought he knew Betrayal?
Kid.
You ain't seen nothing yet. By dawn, Vic's office was a war room, stacks of files. Coffee dripped into our veins. Annabelle. This is nuclear, he said, flipping through prelim audits. Ethan's been routing R&D funds to Shellcore. Lila's got her claws in a PR firm that's been burying whistleblower reports, your whistleblowers, on the solar panel defects.
Defects.
The secret I'd buried deeper than Paul's casket. Back in 15, a batch of panels shorted out. Sparked a warehouse fire in Gary. 2 workers burned. Hushed with NDAs and payouts. I'd taken the fall internally. Shielded the company to save jobs. Ethan knew. He'd been the engineer signing off. They used it, I murmured. Leverage. Worse. Vic slid a folder, emails.
Timestamped.
Lila's been shopping your instability to investors. Therapy notes faked. And that pregnancy? Cover for fertility clinic embezzlement. They drained $200K already. Rage boiled. But I leashed it. Freeze everything. Sue for fraud. But quiet, let them think they have a play.
Big nudda.
All business. And the will. Charity. Bulk to women's shelters. Green tech grants. Ethan's name? Blacklisted from every contact I own. We worked till noon. Clauses ironclad as a vault. By lunch, I'd ghosted Ethan's frantic voicemails. Mom, let's talk. I love you.
Love.
What a weapon. Afternoon blurred into calls. Board allies looped in. Loyalists promoted overnight. Hargrove Innovations? Mine again. Scrubbed clean. But nightfall brought ghosts. Alone in the penthouse, I paced. Wine stains scrubbed but echoing. Paul's photo on the mantel, smiling. Pre-crash, watched like judgment. Had I made Ethan this way? Spoiled prince in my shadow. Resenting the crown I wore? Or was it Lila? That viper from some Hamptons trust fund. Whispering poison. A buzz unknown number. I answered. Voice recorder on. Annabelle Hargrove. Grandma? A girl's voice. Hesitant.
Young.
It's Mia.
From the shelter downtown. You.
You said call if.
Mia.
The runaway I'd mentored last year. Before the cancer fog. 15. Abused. Sharp as a tack. I'd promised scholarships. A future.
Mia. Kiddo.
How'd you get this number? You gave it. Said it was your bat signal. A pause. Traffic humming. I need help. Foster dad's back on the bottle. Cops won't. I'm coming. Stay put. I grabbed keys. Heels clicking like gunfire. Screw the penthouse cage. This was real. Downtown loomed. All neon and despair. The shelter a squat brick fortress in Pilsen. Mia waited in the lobby. Backpack clutched. Eyes haunted mirrors of my younger self. Scrappy orphan turned tycoon.
Vi tar sked till midnatt.
over greasy diner fries. Her story spilled. Dad's rages.
Momasot.
Systems shuffle. You get it, she said. Rising up. Making M pay.
Pay.
The word ignited.
Yeah. Kid.
But smart. Not sloppy. I wired her a safe house deposit anonymous. Untraceable. As she crashed on my couch, I plotted. Ethan and Lila? They were the Fosters now, abusers in silk ties. Time to call CPS on their asses. Week 1 blurred. Audits unearthed a trail. Ethan's poker debts in Vegas. Lila's coke habit funding girls' trips to Miami. I leaked tips to the feds. Watching from afar as subpoenas dropped like guillotines. Board meeting Friday. Ethan's desk empty. His interim title revoked. Personal leave, I announced. Stone-faced. Whispers rippled. I quashed M with results. Q4 projections soaring sans as sabotage. But pushback came swift. Saturday brunch invite, neutral ground. The gauge in the loop. Ethan solo. Haggard. Begging.
Mom.
Lila's devastated. Miscarriage scare. Please. Liar. The baby was a prop. But his eyes, wet, pleading, tugged old strings. Sit, I said, signaling the waiter. Over eggs Benedict. He unloaded. I messed up. Pressures. The company legacy. You're all I have. Legacy. The word soured. Legacies, not theft. Ethan. It's earned. I slid a napkin and signed check. Therapy. Real help. Or nothing. He nodded. Broken. But as he left, I saw the tell. Phone out. Texting furious. Lila. No doubt. Plotting counterstrike. That night,
Mia woke screaming, nightmares.
I held her, rocking like Paul once did me. They can't touch you here, I whispered. Dawn broke, resolve hardened. Trung Sin wasn't just revenge, it was rewrite. For Mia. For the workers I'd failed. For the woman I'd let them break. Ethan's next move? A lawsuit. Filed Monday. Breach of fiduciary. Elder abuse claims twisted, accusing me of manipulation. Media frenzy. Tech titan turns on son in bitter feud. Pundits on CNBC called it American Dream Gone Toxic, interviewing Lila's tearful soundbites. Annabelle's always been controlling. This breaks my heart. Bullshit. But the board wavered, stock dipped 3%. I countered with a presser. Poised. Unyielding. Hargrove stands for integrity. Family disputes stay private. Business demands transparency. Behind scenes, Vic buried them in discovery. Every email. Every wire. 2 months in. The twist hit. Paul's crash? Not accident. Forged maintenance logs. Ethan's signature buried in the file Vic unearthed. My boy. 16 then. Tampering breaks for insurance payout. Grief crashed anew. Paul's laugh silenced by his own son's hand. Why? I confronted. Voice recorder whirring. In a neutral Starbucks. Ethan crumbled. Confessing over lattes. Dad was cutting me out, favoring you. I panicked. Thought it'd bring us closer. Closer. To hell. Maybe. I walked out. Filing the evidence with Homicide Cold Case Unit. Cops swarmed their brownstone that night. Arrests by dawn. Lila cracked first. Plea deals spilling. Ethan's debts. Her affairs. The plot to ease mom's suffering with that surgery spike.
Ethan? Silent.
Staring from Cook County lockup. Eyes hollow as mine in the mirror post-rebirth. Trial loomed, but I pulled strings, restorative justice pilot, Chicago style. Mediation room, Ethan in orange, Lila sniffling beside. I'm sorry, he choked. I hated you for being stronger. Forgive. The word tasted ash.
No, bicat bisa.
Leverage. But Mia, now interning at Hargrove, squeezed my hand. Let go, or it eats you. I chose middle. Reduce sentences. Asset freezes. Therapy mandates.
No inheritance.
But a path Ethan to community college. Rebuilding from dirt. Lila? Deported, her green card a sham marriage fraud. As snow blanketed the city that Christmas, I stood on my balcony, Mia chattering about code hacks. Ethan called collect, voice small. Merry Christmas, Mom. Build better, I said. Hanging up.
Trùng sinh sợ giết.
Not just vengeance, but vision. Hargrove thrived. Shelters funded. Mia's future bright. Betrayal scarred. But rebirth healed. Fiercer. Freer. Yet in quiet nights, the scalpel's chill lingered. One life stolen. Another reclaimed. America's underbelly. Family as battlefield. Ambition as blade. I'd won the war. But the peace? That was the real fight. Spring thawed Chicago's grip. But mine on the reins? Ironclad. Hargrove innovations boomed. New solar arrays lighting up Detroit's Rust Belt hoods. Patents stacking like armor. Mia shadowed me daily. Her quick mind dissecting algorithms while I dissected enemies. You're like a phoenix. Annabelle, she'd say. Eyes wide over cafeteria subs. Phoenix. Fitting, burned once. Rising ash-free. Ethan's trial wrapped in May. Circus of a spectacle. Federal courthouse downtown. Protesters chanting corporate greed kills outside. Ironic.
Given the blood on his hands.
I testified crisp. No tears. Timelines. Transfers. The brake logs from Paul's Chevy twisted in evidence bags. Lila folded early. Snitching for leniency. 10 years federal. White-collar wing. Ethan? 20. Mix of fraud and vehicular manslaughter reopened. Judge, a grizzled vet named Kowalski, eyed him hard. You had the world, son. Threw it away for fool's gold. Sentencing day. Gallery packed. Board suits. Reporters. Mia gripping my arm. Ethan shuffled in. Shackles clinking. That boyish face gaunt under fluorescence. Mom, he mouthed as bailiff called order. I met his gaze, steel to shattered glass.
No nod. No wave.
Just truth. After, Vic clapped my shoulder in the hall. It's done. Clean slate.
Clean? Huh.
Ink stains. But the weight lifted, Paul's ghost quieter. Whispering approval over whiskey neat that night. Mia crashed early. I scrolled news. Hargrove heiress clears name in son's downfall. Comments vicious. Monster mom drives golden boy to crime. Karma's a bitch.
Annabelle.
Trolls feasted. But I feasted better. Stock rebounded 12%. Forbes profile dubbing me the unbreakable. Summer sizzled. Board retreats in Napa, vines heavy. Air thick with deal-making. I pushed bold, acquiring a rival's battery tech. Ethics clauses ironed in. No more Gary fires on my watch. Whispers followed. Annabelle's ruthless post-scandal. Ruthless? Try reborn. Decisions piled. Controversial as hell, layoffs in legacy divisions, pivots to AI ethics that pissed off Silicon Valley darlings. You're killing jobs, one exec barked in the Cabernet room. Or saving the planet, I shot back. Pick your poison. Back home.
Mia bloomed, scholarship locked.
Coding our next app, shelter matching. AI vetted for safety. For girls like me, she said, demoing on my laptop. Pride swelled. Fierce as maternal fire I'd thought lost. Ethan letters trickled, jailhouse scrawl. Apologies looping like bad code. I see now.
Mom.
The greed blinded me. Lila pushed, but I chose. I filed M unread, but kept the box. Evidence. Or empathy. Time tell. Fall brought the curveball. Anonymous tip. Vic's secure line. Boss. You sitting? That break job? Not just Ethan. Accomplice, your old partner. Harlan Tate. Forged the logs himself. Covered for the kid to keep his equity stake.
Harlan.
The silver fox from startup days. Co-founder who'd bowed out graceful in 10. Or so I thought. Betrayal round 2, deeper.
Dustier.
Harlan. Now retired in Scottsdale. Golfing with senators. My trusted advisor, via board seat proxy. He'd known about the pregnancy scam. Greenlit Ethan's fund siphons. Paul's death. His nudge to secure the future. I flew west incognito, first class.
No entouraje.
His hacienda sprawled under cacti. Pool glinting like lies. Annabelle. He hugged air-kissed. All tan and veneers. To what do I owe? Justice, I said, sliding into his den. Photos of grandkids mocking from shelves. Mia waited outside. Getaway driver in my rental Beamer. We talk circles, golf scores. Market dips, till I dropped the hammer. Paul's brakes.
Étanès signature.
Your ink. His scotch glass trembled. Ancient history.
Belle.
Boys being boys. Men being murderers. I hit record on my watch, smartwatch perk. He cracked slow, resentment over my feminazi rise. Ethan's ear easy mark. You took it all, he spat. Left us scraps.
Us.
The old boys' club eyed shattered ceilings to escape. By sunset. Confession taped.
Faig l'uop et via Vic's contacts.
Harlan arrested at dawn. White collar cuffs. But poetic. His empire crumbled. Assets seized. Name dragged through Wall Street Journal headlines. Co-founder's dark secret. Tech mogul's betrayal exposed. Twist deepened in his files. Seized digitally. A ledger. Bribes to inspectors on those faulty panels. Gary Fire? Harlan's cost-cutting. Ethan's sign-off. My blind sign-off. The workers' families? Still suing.
Settlements de personal I funda.
Guilt gnawed. But action followed. Public apology tour. Full disclosure. Stock tanked 8%. But trust surged. CNN called it reckoning real. Controversy peaked Thanksgiving. Invite to the prison? Ethan. Via Warden's holiday program. Mia begged off. Your call.
But don't go soft.
I went. Plexiglass dividing us. His orange jumpsuit a far cry from Brooks Brothers. Thanks for Harlan, he said. Voice muffled by speaker. Karma chain. Not karma, I replied. Consequences. We talked hours, Paul's laugh echoing in memories. My regrets spilling. Working late. Missing games. I failed you too, I admitted. His eyes welled. Then fix it, For whoever's next. Next. Mia. The board's young guns. The shelters. As I left,
Snow flurrying.
resolve crystallized. No more half measures. Christmas board vote. I stepped down CEO. Installing Mia's mentor, a sharp Latina engineer, as successor. Time for phase 2, I announced. Whispers. Annabelle's quitting. Burnout?
Nah.
Power shift. Mia's chair. Guiding from shadows. New Year dawned electric. Lila's appeal denied. Deported to her native Vancouver. Assets nil. She blogged venom. Trapped in tycoon's web but readership tanked. Scandal fatigue setting in.
Ethan?
Transferred to minimum security. Trade school slots. Letters evolved. Not please, but progress. Welding certification. Thinking of you. But peace? Fleeting. February leak. Insider trading probe. My name whispered. Source? Harlan's dying loyalist. Rotting in county. I lawyered up. But the hit stang, SEC crawling my trades. Media circus redux. Annabelle's empire. Cracks in the crown? Fox Business opined. Vic Doug. Planted evidence. Digital forgeries. Culprit? Ethan's old poker buddy. A low-rent hacker Lila betted for favors.
Motive?
Payback. Or payout from a mystery bidder. I traced it, dark web breadcrumbs, to a VC firm sniffing Hargrove carcass post-tip. High-stakes poker now, I countered with a buyout offer. Sweetened with ethics audit. They folded. Probe dismissed as clerical error. But the scare?
Liafuse.
No more playing nice. I went public. Memoir deal. Ghostwriter on speed dial. Reborn in Betrayal, a mother's reckoning. Outline raw. Paul's murder. Ethan's fall. Harlan's rot. My complicity in Gary. Controversial? Hell yes, sued preemptively by victim's kin. But settled fair. Funds tripled. Summer 24. Book dropped, bestseller. Oprah nod. Tours packed, teary Q&As in Seattle bookstores. Fiery debates on Bill Maher. Forgiveness or forget? He pressed.
Neither, I shot.
Remember. Reform. Mia beamed from front row. Her app launching Shelter Network viral. Saving dozens. Yet shadows lingered. Late night call. Ethan's voice. Mom? Guard found this in my cell.
Pause.
Russell. It's from Dad's crash, note I wrote. Kid scrawl. Sorry for breaking the car. Thought it was junk. Heart seized. Junk. Confession buried. Guilt seed. Keep it, I whispered. Fuel. By fall. Empire stabilized, Mia thriving. Board loyal. But the real twist? Lila's return, smuggled back. Pregnant for real. Claiming Ethan's via conjugal. Parole board twist. Her testimony could shave his time. Family values. The bleeding hearts cooed. I met her in a dingy visitation room. Belly swelling under prison khakis. Truce, she smirked. Terms, I countered. Wire her kids trust, clean money. No strings. In exchange, full recant. Media silence. She signed, eyes hungry. Baby boy. They named him Paul. Watching from afar, as Ethan held him through glass. Something cracked, not forgiveness, but release.
Trùng sinh sợ endgame, not dead Justin, but dawn.
2024's dog days dragged. Humidity clinging like regrets. But I moved lighter, memoir cash funding a foundation. Annabelle's rise. Grants for abused kids. Green tech for underserved burbs. Mia helmed it. 20 now. All fire and code. Her TED Talk on tech is shield going viral. Learn from the best. She'd wink. Clinking glasses at foundation galas.
Best? Me.
The phoenix with singed wings. Ethan's parole hearing loomed November. Early release pitch. Model inmate spiel. Letters painted progress. AA meetings. Counseling logs. Even a prison lit mag poem, raw. About shadows of the throne. I debated attending.
Gut twisting.
Vic advised neutral. Support without strings.
Mia?
Blunt, go. Close the loop. Or it loops you. I went. Courthouse echoing my heels like Judgment Day redux. Gallery sparse. Lila absent. Back in Canada. Trust checks clearing.
Accusini de gustar.
Reporters lurking. Ethan entered cuffed but composed.
Suit borrowed.
Hair trimmed. His statement? Gut punch. I kill my father for a lie. My mother for greed. Prison stripped illusions, rebuilt the man. Not a monster. Tears? Real. Judge chewed it. Then, 5 years supervised.
Conditions strict.
Outside. He hugged me, awkward. Bone thin. Thank you, he murmured. For not letting me drown. Not yet, I replied. Half joke.
Half vow.
We grabbed coffee, neutral turf. No chains. Talk flowed halting, his welding gig lined up. Halfway house in Evanston. Lila's out clean. Says the baby changed her. Skeptical hum from me. And you? Changed? Working on it.
A beat.
Read the book.
Proud. Mom.
Brutal truth.
Pride.
From him? Novel. But trust? Earned slow. Like interest on bad debt. Winter bit hard. Holidays hybrid. Foundation toy drive morphing into family dinner. Me? Mia? Ethan on pass. Table smaller. No wine his rule. Turkey carved with stories. Not silences. Mia grilled him. Code or cons? He laughed. First real one. Code.
Kid.
Your app inspired. Tension simmered. But didn't boil. As he left, he pressed a keychain, welded sun. Crude but warm. For the phoenix. Tears pricked. I blinked him back. Rebirth's gift. Layers peeled. Raw but real. But 2025 dawned treacherous. Foundation audit flagged irregularities. Grants diverted.
Small but sloppy.
Trail led to. Lila? Back stateside on a visa waiver. Consulting for a rival nonprofit. Her touch. Siphoned $50K to relief funds. Her Canadian accounts.
Motive? Spite.
Or setup. I confronted solo. Her Airbnb in Wicker Park. Cozy. Baby toy strewn. Annabelle, she cooed. Nursing Paul Jr. All Madonna glow. Coffee. Confession. I countered. Door ajar for ethics. She sighed theatrical. Ethan's parole costs money. Friends in low places. Friends. Her old coke circuit. No doubt. Steal from kids? Low even for you. Not stealing, redirecting. Eyes flashed. You took everything. This evens it. Even? Math of monsters. I recorded discreet. Feds tipped again. But twist, baby Paul? DNA swabbed post-arrest proved. Not Ethan's. Some Toronto hustler. Her business partner. Crash. She confessed to conning the con, using the kid as prop for sympathy bucks. Ethan shattered. Relapse scare. But Mia talked him down via Zoom. Family's choice, she said. He chose sobriety. Cut Lila cold, custody battle looming. My lawyer's on retainer. Controversy crested spring. Media storm. Heiress's daughter-in-law. Con artist or victim. Pundit split. Feminists decrying my cold empire. Conservatives crowing. Welfare queen busted. I stayed silent. Letting facts indict. Gala speech instead. Betrayal's chain. Break it with truth. Not vengeance.
Applause thundered. Mia beamed backstage.
Summer brought Harlan's appeal. Dying in Supermax. Lung cancer irony. Last plea. Visit. I did. Sterile room reeking antiseptic. His frame skeletal under IVs. Bell, he rasped. Finish it. Finished, I said. But he slid a drive flash. Encrypted. Insurance. Your secrets.
Mine?
Heart stuttered. Unlocked later. Emails from 15. My sign-off on panel shortcuts. Cost cuts that sparked Gary. I'd known risks. Gambled levs for margins. Protect the team, I'd told myself. Bullshit. Protect the throne. Guilt tsunami. I greenlit a class action. Full restitution. Hargrove stock pledged. Meet opposed. Lawyer screamed suicide. Board balked. Necessary, I insisted. Stock plunged 15%. Headlines screamed Annabelle's reckoning. Self-sabotage or sainthood. Twist deepened. Depositions unearthed my accomplice, Paul. Pre-crash. Pushing the cuts for legacy security. Our marriage? Complicit cocoon. Shielding sins. Mia found me weeping in the office. Own it. Then atone. Atonement. Foundation expanded. Gary Memorial, solar-powered community center. Named for the lost workers. Opening ribbon cut. Families there. Forgiveness not voiced. But eyes softer. Fall 25. Ethan's first free Thanksgiving, halfway house. Welding scars on hands like badges. Dinner intimate, us three.
Mia e se boyfriend touching awkward.
Talk turned raw. Dad, Paul, he wasn't saint, Ethan admitted. Push me hard. Like I pushed you. Cycle. Broke it? I asked. Trying. Toast raised, no wine. Sparkling cider. Laughter bubbled. Tentative bridge. But high tide recedes. December 2nd. Anniversary of my death in that, or. Alone. Penthouse dark. I replayed the scalpel slice, choke. Fade. Fury. Phone buzzed, unknown. Annabelle Hargrove. Detective Reyes. Cold cases. Paul's wreck. New lead. Lead. Talk. Meetup. Dive bar in Bridgeport. Neon flickering. Reyes.
No nonsense Latina.
Slid photos. Alternate angles. Tire marks off. Not brakes alone, hit from behind. Black SUV. Partial plate to a rental under Harlan's shell.
Hit.
Not accident. Not solo sabotage. Murder. Orchestrated. Who drove? Files spilled. Lila's ex. Toronto thug. Paid off post-crash to scare Paul. Botched into fatality. Harlan's order. Ethan's unwitting pawn. Rage reignited, not at Ethan, kid then. Manipulated.
But the web.
Lila knew. Her business partner. The baby's dad. Con within con. I called Vic. One more hunt. December chill seeped into bones as I chased ghosts across the border. Private jet to Toronto. Vic's network greasing wheels. Lila's ex. Marco. Hulking Ukrainian with a rap sheet longer than Lakeshore Drive. Holed up in a Mississauga strip mall. Import-export front. I didn't go in guns blazing, nah. Annabelle 2.0 played smart. Bribe a bartender. Slip a tracker in his pint. By midnight, his escalade led to a warehouse, crates stamped electronics, but humming with darker vibes. Feds looped, RCMP joint task. My intel gold. Ray Dawn, Marco cuffed midshipman. Coke bricks tumbling like dominoes. Interrogation vid streamed live to my hotel. Harlan? Yeah. Old man wired $50K. Loose end on the Chicago hit. Lila? Named co-conspirator. Her trust funds traced to payoffs. Back stateside. Christmas Eve airport dash snow grounding flights. But we'll push through. Lila snatched New Year's. Ice fan to holding. Annabelle, she shrieked at arraignment. Belly long gone. Face feral. You bitch, this is persecution. Justice, I echoed. Gallery murmuring. Ethan testified against her, voice steady. Eyes averted.
She used me.
Us. Judge denied bail. Extradition loomed.
Twist finale, Marco flipped.
Full tape, Harlan's voice. Gravelly. Paul's sniffing too close. Scare him off the books.
Motive?
Paul's audit threat on the panel scams. Pre-crash. Our marriages rot. Exposed. He'd suspected my complicity. Confronted Harlan. Hit meant to warn. Speed turned fatal. Grief reworked, not blame. But balance. I visited Ethan's grave, Paul's. Sorry, Wicker Park Cemetery. Snow-dusted stone. We both fucked up, I whispered. Mia beside. Arm linked. But we fixed some. She nodded. Enough. 2025 closed messy. Trials tangled. Media maelstrom. Annabelle's vendetta, from boardroom to body count. Tabloids twisted. But polls swung. Women's groups rallying. Survivor's saga. Foundation thrived. Mia's app scaling national. Saving runs from shadows like mine. Ethan's full release summer 26. Welder and Gary. Memorial Center gig. First visit. Hard hat on. Calluses proud. Building.
Mom.
Not breaking. We hugged real, no plexi.
No pretense.
Lila? 25 in Supermax. Marco life. Harlan? Buried quiet. Empire ashes. My life. Reinvented. Stepped full from chair. Traveling. Kenya solar installs. Vietnamese shelters. Memoir sequel brewing. Reborn again. Cycles broken. Controversial close. Forgiving self. The hardest mark. One night. Chicago skyline from a Napa deck. Ethan calling. Voice light. Grandkid on way. Mia says aunt duties. Laughter bubbled. Uncle first. Proud.
Chúng sinh sợ ác, not ven gen éternel.
But victory earned. Betrayals buried.
Bridge tentative.
America's pulse. Fierce families. Flawed fights. I died own. Risen right.
And that,
happily ever after. Scars and all. But in quiet. Scalpel whispers. Ready for round 3? Always.